Hi guys, I'm Ashif Ali and watching CGHOW video. Today we will make this totem effect in Unreal Engine 5. So let's start this tutorial. So I have this totem mesh and pivot is here in the center. We need to move that. So we'll do that. So let's make a new Niagara. I'll take this and MS. So inside this, I just want one particle. So I will, and all these modules I don't need. So I'll just take this one. And let's make this also once. So it will just spawn one particle once. And live should also direct like one. And I'll use a mesh and that will be our totem. And if I open this mesh, you can see the height of mesh, which is 99, but the pivot is here. So we need to move that here, 45.5. So I'll go here. So let me show you. If I go to the size or you take here size, let's say you take the mesh size and I'll turn this on 1. So basically if I scale it on Z, it's scaling from the center, but I want it to scale it from the bottom. So in the pivot, I'll put minus 45.5, actually not positive, not negative, positive actually. Now if I scale it, it's scaling from that part. Cool. So let's make also a curve. So I'll just make break this and break this and make these 1 and 1 and this one I'll make the scale. Initially it should be 0 at point 2 it would be 1 and then I'll smooth these keys and I'll actually right click, break this and make it little up. It should be like bouncy. See, like this. Looks neat. Okay. So if I just make this like local and I put it here, let's make the new map and let's make the light a little darker. I'll just put this here, this Niagara. And this overall mesh size is very small, so I'll just make this maybe 3 and I don't need this and this. So you can type here force and you can, this should be a force. Okay, you can just reset this from here. Cool. And for lighting, you can go to light, skylight maybe, skylight, turn this off. You can use your map and if I increase little bit, maybe 2. And now my effects, how it looks. You can, I will change the material of my totem. This is my material. So what I'll do, this is diffuse. I'll just multiply diffuse with the Fresnel. And if I preview that, let's use this mesh and preview this here. Select this and preview this here. This is how it looks. So if I preview the Fresnel, let's see how it looks. This, I'll make this 2 and maybe a power. Now I can multiply this with the diffuse. So I will have this thing, which will be bright and we can just plug it here in the emissive. We can also multiply it with like 3. So it will be more brighter and then just plug it here. So now even in the darker lights, your totem will be bright. So I'll just save it. And now if I, it's visible and I think skylight is too high. I'll just make this one. Okay. So first thing we have this, and let's also make this ground bigger. Okay, and now cool. So now I want to emit some particles, some dust from it. So let's do it. So this is my totem, and let's take another emitter fountain, and I'll use a smoke material. Let me search a smoke material. I have so many. Let's take this one. Translucent, unlit, and what I'm using a noise texture with a radial, and I have a tile and dissolve parameter because I'm using power, and this whole thing going to opacity. So it's quite simple material. So I will use it here. We need dynamic parameter for the tile and erode. Let's use this value for now. And of course, this should be a once and this should be a burst, maybe 50 particles. And let's make the size of particles maybe 150. Okay, and I don't need this. And the location, I'll use torus, maybe 0. And the velocity should be like 50 and 300, 500 maybe. That's my idea. Okay, and I'll also add collision, and I'll use analytical paints. Let's make this 0, 0. Actually, -3, -3. You can make this and a little up. I think this should be 0, but I'll make the analytic planes -50. And now a little bit up. Yeah. And this thing. Let's make this brownish and randomize the color shade by using these values. I don't need a hue. Okay. And maybe more alpha, maybe 5 and 3. And this thing maybe 300 and 200. Too much, 200 and 100. Okay. And in the collision, I don't want any bounce. And in the size of sprite, I'll use this curve, and at 0.3, it should be 1. Initially, it should be 0. Okay. Now I will randomize the tile like 0.5 and 1. And let me check at which value is dissolving. So dissolving up to 5. So we can animate this also. So initially, I wanted 1, and at the end, it should be 5. And this key should be small like this. Life maybe 2 and 5. And let's see how it looks here. Yeah, not bad. We just need some like a shock wave. So I will duplicate this, and all I'll do is in the velocity, I'll use point velocity this time, and maybe 700 this, not that much, maybe 400 and 400, 300. And I don't need collision in this one and not gravity. So it should be just a shock wave like this. Why is going up? Because I have an offset here that I will reduce. Drag maybe 1, maybe 300, 200. Let's see. Yeah, looks fine. And I think this should be little more heavy. Yeah. One more thing you can do, select your FX and cast shadow. Okay. We can also add some debris and some other thing. And I think I will add some dissolve kind of thing in this. So let's open the material of totem. I'll because the UV is not perfect, so I'll use the 3D noise and I'll preview this. I think 0.01, this should be 0. I'll take the Voronoi, let it preview actually. Yeah, fine. And I'll take the smooth step. Actually, I will use the mask. So I will not take smooth step. I'll just directly take the step. If I preview this, and you can see at 1 it's almost white, at 0 it will be almost black, fully black, and at 0.5 you can see it's dissolving. So I'll take the dynamic parameter. Let's call it dissolve, and this will go directly here. You can also animate it if you want. So uh, let it be for now. Let's save it. Now in the totem, if I take the dynamic parameter and let's preview that at the 1 value, this is my full totem, although it is dissolved little bit. So we can go above the 1, I think 1.25, 1.3. Yeah. So what I'll do, curve, it should be like at 0.7, 1.3, and at 1 it should be 0. And if I play now, it dissolve at the end. Cool. So now artifact dissolve, and we can add some particles. So what I'll do, I want to use the same kind of colors for my particles, or you can just take the random colors, not big issue. So I'll just duplicate this fountain. Let's rename these. So done. And this is our dust. This is our dust shockwave. Now I want dissolve particles. So I'll copy the dust and let's call it dissolve particles. So my life of totem is 1 and it start dissolving from zero point 0.7 from zero point 0.7. So that means the delay of these particles should be 0.7, 0.7. And I'll use spawn rate, maybe 200 from now. And because using dust, let's make this red particle so we can visualize, yeah, this one is this. And make it like 10 and 10. Okay. So these red particles, so these should emit from the totem. So instead of this, and let's also disable this, and I don't want gravity for now, and also collision. I'll use static mesh location, and I want to use the same totem. So this one, let me save also. I'll use same totem here, but I have scaled this totem here 3 times. So this totem also should scale. So I'll type static, or you can do what you can do. You can just take the position and multiply position with 3. So it will be the same size. But there is also offset. So what you can do, copy, add, paste, and 45.5. It's like in different, it's weird. Let's make this spawn rate little high so we can visualize. Okay. Yeah, almost there. I don't know why it's different. It should be the same. Let's do it manually. Yeah, it is almost there now. Okay. And yeah, you can also multiply here the position. And yeah, you can do that here. It's okay. So we have these red particles, but I will make that brown and blue. So let's make this just a brown, and you can randomize little color here like this. And I'll make the curl noise and maybe 200, 10 or maybe 15, and little animation and 1.5. So it will be like this. So if I now play here, that thing going to 0. So what I'll do, I'll copy this thing, actually delete this. And here in the static mesh location, you have this sample position. So you can just make this sample position offset this eventually. There should be also some static. There should, yeah. There was one another node that I'm searching. Let me just find. Okay, what I'll do, we can offset this like this, and there should be also offset and position, I guess. Okay, so what I'll do, I actually made a mistake. I'll take the position, and if you'll notice, let's reset this. And if you'll notice, this is a simulation position. So I'll copy this, add, and paste this. Now you have this vector. So basically, bias will set. So I'll add here, then multiply the position. This will be 3, 3, 3. And now I can offset this also. And it should be, I think, now 0. Why is there? It should not be like that. If I copy this whole and type here animation, This is weird. This shouldn't be happen. Let me fix. So this is my setting, you can see. Okay. And yeah, I'll make these little more dull, maybe 0.5, 0.2 here, and alpha maybe higher, and size maybe 1, and this. We can make it a little more darker, maybe 3, 1, 2. We can add and one more thing. We can increase this maybe little more, 0.5 and 5 and 5, 5 2. And the delay we can make 0.6. Yeah, cool. And when it's scaling up, I want some dust, really like speed. There should be a stressed dust. So what I'll do in this one, if I play, this is my dust. Okay, I will make the torus size little smaller, and then I will make this velocity aligned, and I don't want gravity, and I want size to be maybe 300, 200, and maybe 180 like this, and velocity should be straight like this, and life maybe 0.6, 0.4 like this. So I think, yeah. And in these particle, I want to add velocity from the point, maybe 200, 100. And you can actually take the linear velocity and multiply with the normals of your mesh. If I make this like 200, maybe 100, and curl noise maybe 0.5 and 3.2, and life maybe 1 and 0.2. Yeah, cool. Although we can use GPU particle and increase this little bit like this, and curl noise maybe 20 and 500. Yeah, we can also add little debris if you want. So I'll just copy this brush, paste, and just change the sprite to mesh, and let me search debris and make the size of mesh maybe 5. Yeah, and I need initial mesh orientation. Cool. We just need a material for that. And in the collision, choose the analytic planes and velocity. I'll increase this, and size we can do random. So maybe 3, 3, 3, and 8. And I'll use a material, maybe if I have a debris material. I think I have a color material which is just a flat color. Yeah, I can use this. So now I can use debris to be same color. And then I will need a scale mesh. Take a float. They should scale down over life. And maybe after 0.7, this should scale down. And I think our size maybe 3. That analytical plane should be little down. So here I will make it minus that. Or maybe you can just use ray traced and let's see. Yeah, so there's issue. I will just use analytical planes minus 200. It's too much. Almost there. Just minus 1 thing minus 1. Yeah, almost there. And we can also add rotational velocity and maybe random 1 and minus 1 in all axes. And for to stop the rotational velocity, we can increase the drag, maybe 3. And size of debris is little big, maybe 2. Okay. So this is it.